welcome to the Cornish Stitcher. This podcast is episode 18. Welcome if you're new here. You're more than welcome. Pull up a pew and get a drink. I've got a nice cold drink. It's very hot weather. And let's share some time together. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It really means the world. And if you are a new viewer, I hope that you like what you see and come back. If you do, then if you could, if I could ask if you could like or subscribe, that would be really helpful to share my channel. Thank you. Right, so if you are watching any of the UK podcasters or indeed in the UK yourself, you will know we are in the middle of a very, very hot heat wave spell. Even down here so I'm my name is, for the new viewers, apologies, my name is Ness, and I live in the southwest of the UK in Cornwall. And it's quite rare for it to get the very extreme temperatures down here. We do get sort of mid-20s quite regularly, but we very rarely go above that. But at the moment it is literally really hot. So I'm recording this at 9 o'clock this morning in the hope that it's cool enough to be able to record and just chill for the rest of the day. It's really, really hot. We're expecting sort of mid-30s going through till tomorrow and Thursday especially, and there's a rare red weather warning. So yeah, it's not the greatest for someone who doesn't like the heat. But anyway, we move on. I'll start with what I'm wearing. So this, I'll stand up, is my new, let's see if I can step back a little bit and move the chair. This is my new finished object. So this is a Tolsta Tee. So yeah, this is a Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow. Obviously everybody knows the Tolsta Tee. I will link it below, but this is the second one that I've made. And this is made in James C. Brett Cotton Waves. It is the softest cotton and the loveliest drape. And it's perfect for today. I've had two different tops on this morning trying to find the coolest, and this is the coolest one. So yeah, it's really lovely to wear. The pattern is just so easy to follow. I wouldn't recommend it highly enough. So yeah, so I've made this. I bought this yarn last summer on our way to our holiday, and we went into Black Sheep Yarns for the first time. It's quite a distance from us. It's up sort of Warrington area, which is sort of 5-6 hours drive. So I bought this. I think it was quite a new yarn when I purchased it. But yeah, so I just love it, and I'm really glad. It was off the needles in 6 weeks, cast on to cast off in 6 weeks, which for me, alongside my other finished object, is quite good going. Normally they're months on the needles. So yes, so I'm really loving it, and it's perfect for this weather. So I did a rib, and I just followed the pattern all the way down, except the raglan increases. She does call for make one left and make one right, and my make one left and make one right always end up quite wholly. So I just knit into the front and back to do my raglan increases, because I find it a much neater finish for myself. But other than that, followed the pattern. And I, as per usual, have to extend the body length because I have a very long torso, and so it otherwise it's too far up above my waist. So I extended the length accordingly, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And my other finished object, I know, 2 in 1 episode. I have another finished object which I'll pop a picture up here of, and it is the Everyday Cotton Cardigan by Ashley Kiser. I think it's Kiser, not Kiser. And I'll pop the link down below. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, amazing. You follow the links, and what I did was cut and pasted the pattern into my own Word document so it was easier to follow. I think there is an option to buy an ad-free pattern, but I just did it that way. And yeah, so I finished this just as we were about to go on a week's holiday to the south of Wales for May half term, and we entered another heat wave. So we ended up with 30 plus degrees temperatures there as well. So this cardigan didn't get worn until the penultimate day of our holiday, when I wanted to take these photos of it out in the wild, so to speak. So yeah, but it hasn't really had much wear since, because it's just been too warm. For people who aren't in this country, you probably think, my goodness me, that's not a hot temperature. We're not used to it, for a start. And also, none of our residential buildings really have aircon. Our schools don't have aircon, so the kids are in really hot temperatures. Ethan has an exam this morning and had one yesterday, and the classroom he was taking his exam in was 34 degrees. So hot. But anyway, we move on again. So yeah, so I finished these two objects. Both of them were done in cotton waves, the James C. Brett yarn, and it just happened that I had the blue, which was planned for a cardigan, and the pink that I'd planned for a top, and it happened that I was working on them both at the same time. The cotton, normally I do not like particularly working with cotton in crochet. I don't mind it in knitting, but I don't particularly like it in crochet. But this was fine. It didn't split. It was really lovely to use. It didn't hurt my hands. It drapes wonderfully. And yeah, I think for this I used, and I think I did size 6, possibly 7. I'll have to check. It's the smaller size than I made last time, because I've lost weight. Woohoo. So I had to make a size down, and even then there's quite a lot of positive ease in this one. And I used I used 3.5 balls of this. I had 5 balls and I've got 1.5 balls left, so it uses less than 800 meters of yarn, and it was just, yeah, brilliant. And then in the cardigan, I think I used 700 grams of the balls of cotton waves for that, but again, I've still got some left over of a ball, so it was probably just shy of 700 grams. So yes, so let's go on to my works in progress. So I cast this off last Friday evening, and on Saturday morning I cast on another Tolsta, and this is how far I've got. This one's growing rapidly, so this one is you know, it's gonna be pink, let's be truthful, you know. So I've decided to stripe this one. Just tilt you down a little bit there. So I just split for the arms. I think this is the quickest I've ever knitted a garment. Yeah, so I've just split for the sleeves, and I'm making this one in a yarn I've never used before, and it's Yarn Art Jeans Bamboo this is ice blue. This is providing quite a lot of hilarious conversations in my knitting group as to whether it's ice blue, lilac, off-white. The official colour is ice blue, and this is, I'm not sure what shade of pink they call this, but this is pink, and this is colour 110, and this is colour 126. So I'm striping those two together, and I picked this yarn up when I went to visit a local-ish, a yarn shop in Cornwall, in a town called Camborne, which is quite a way down west from us. And I was just really curious to use bamboo, never used it before. So it's I think it's 50% bamboo, 50% acrylic. And as I've said on my previous videos, I'm on a bit of an inexpensive yarn journey at the moment. I have lots and lots of hand-dyed yarns, which, you know, I want to use and I love them, but equally I don't want to be wearing a garment particularly a summer garment, for 6 to 8 weeks, and then hopefully it'll be far too big next year. A jumper is slightly different in that you can layer it up and that will be fine. But summer tees, I don't really want them to be hopefully 3 or 4 sizes too big next summer. So I'm on my inexpensive summer journey still, and these were perfect for that. So again, yeah, so another Tolsta. hopefully ready for the rest of the summer. I'm hoping to finish it in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm just straight on the body now, so round and round and round. So that's really good, and I'm really pleased with that. Bear with. And my other whip, I only have 2 whips. Do I only have 2 whips? I've only got 2 whips with me, apart from my blankets, which is probably why I'm getting through the Tolsta so quick. So it's very unusual for me to only have 2 whips and a couple of blankets. Right, so this is my other project that's on the go, and this is absolutely divine yarn. So I'm not sure if you can see, but there are, within this yarn, there are also is orange obviously, but also there's loads of little flecks of green and some greys, and occasionally like a really pale sandy color. It's beautiful. And this yarn is from the Yarny Octopus. I'll show you there. This is their logo, Yarny Octopus, and this is, I believe the color is rust, and the pattern that I'm making it's called Be Simple Variations, and this is the pattern, and it is a free pattern, again another free pattern on Ravelry, and there are 2 different options for finishing off the edge. There's an I-cord edge, which I'm not doing, I don't think, or there is a picot bind off, or just a normal bind off. I'm doing the normal bind off, so you can have a picot bind off down the side if you want. But yeah, I absolutely love this, and it's a 8 or 9 row repeat, and it's just really easy. It's really good. Take it out and about knitting, because whilst there are yarn overs to make the eyelets, that's only once every sort of 8 rows, and then you just need to remember which way you're on an increased row or a decreased row, and it's really indicative and really simple to follow, and it's just really good if we're out and about. It's a good car knitting project, and I'm just loving working on it. It's also nice in this weather because it's not a huge weight lay on your lap. So yes, I can't believe I only have 2 whips and my blankets. That's really weird for me. It's very unusual. Right. Now, going forwards, because I seem to be working on this Tolsta quite quickly, I obviously have up here on my pin board my plans that I was going through, which is essentially my version of my Diamond 9, but it was bingo board, but it was a huge amount more. And so I do have another whip. It's down here. Oh, what am I on? So I am doing, last November I went on the Woolay retreat in Ironbridge with Lay Family Yarn, and as most of you will know, you come away with a set of minis so you dye your own yarn, and then you come away with a single mini of everybody else who was with you on the yarn retreat. And I didn't know what to do with mine at all, so I wound mine all up. Just move my crochet hook, my very apt crochet hook for me, look, Barbie. And these are the gorgeous yarns that I ended up coming home with one of everybody else, from everybody else. So I am making the, what's it called, Mrs. Lamb's Advent Shawl, and it's a pattern on Ravelry, and I will link it down below. And this is the picture and I'm using my minis, and there we are. So I've put 2 in so far. Be my thumbnail. I'm making it so that's it so far, and I am using obviously my minis and a yarn from a yarn dyer that bear with, I'm going to find the details. Apologies, I can't find the label. I'll pop the name in here and in the description box. But this is the yarn I'm that I'm using for the neutral stripes. So it's not a cream, it's a pink. It's a really pale pink colour, with shades of slightly darker. That's good. Yeah, you can see it's shades of slightly darker pink going through it. So it's working really well with all of the tonals and the speckleds and all the really nice variegated yarns that are in the pack. And I really like the way it's working up as well. So you can see that it's got slight variations in the colour work as well. So yes, I'm loving that. So I did have another whip. I knew I did. And it's just, I'm keeping it in a box rather than a bag in here because I've wound all of them up. So because I've wound them up, I want to keep them intact, so to speak, because I do have a tendency to put them in a project bag and they unravel. So, but that I've been doing that in the studio rather than in the house, and the knitting in the house. So that's why it's in here. So yes, so that was good to look at my board. So on my list, you'll see that I had lots of things listed, and I managed to achieve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've done 8. So I've managed to do my juniper headband, my colourwork jumper, my ooey gooey cowl, Monty's blanket, some mittens, my cardigan, my headband, which we'll come on to in a minute, this jumper, and my other headband. And I'm off this list, I've got just a scarf that's a whip. So I've added in a few extras. So the new Tolsta isn't on my list, but I'm hopeful that I'll be able to finish it off. Oh, and my Yarny Octopus shawl is on there as well. So we're doing quite well considering we're halfway through the year and I've achieved quite a lot on my list. I think I'm doing quite well, and I'm really pleased with how well that's going. Yeah, so incomings, acquisitions. Some are naughties, some are nice, some are gifts, so they're nice. Previous viewers will know that myself and my fabulous, wonderful friend Davina of Little Workroom Crafts are super excited for the new Laurie Holt book that we've pre-ordered from the company So Hot, S-E-W Hot, So Hot. And we have pre-ordered that from them to arrive in the autumn at some point. But as part of that, we are collecting the Laurie Holt yarn to purchase in this country is $9.99 a skein, a ball of yarn, and we need a lot. So Davina is just amazing and had worked out the equivalent in the Scapia's yarn, and we are in the process of, between us, ordering some each month. So my so the equivalent, for those of you who want to know, is the Scapia's Katona. It's a 4-ply yarn and you get 125 meters on it. It's really nice. And this is my latest batch to have arrived. So I'm making up yarn pegs for all of them and putting the names and the numbers on those yarn pegs so that I am able to identify them, because when they arrive, they only arrive with the ball number, not the name, and we've corresponded it over. So today's job is to wind some of those onto pegs and to keep storing those. So that's my latest one. And then I went to the Wool Monty on, when was it? In the middle of 13th of June. We went to the Wool Monty, and I've never been before, and I just loved it. So it was a really lovely day with my sister, and we went, my sister Jane and I went to the Wool Monty, and I'll pop a picture up one of these sides of what I purchased. I was quite restrained for myself. I did go to various stores, but I was determined. I've seen a pattern in the Scottish Journal of Yarn. think that's what it's called. I always get the wording of the name back to front. But I would love to make a jumper that's in there, and I'll pop a picture here of it, where it's held, you hold lace singly for some of the ripples, and you hold the 4-ply for the rest of the jumper. And I had 3 skeins of a particular yarn from Jo Knit Sew that I really wanted to use. So I went back to her stand to purchase the lace, and I came back with this pink beauty. So that's a future project. That's a, as Amora would say, that's a FWIP, a future work in progress. And then last weekend, or no, 2 days ago? 2 days ago was my birthday. So it's hilarious. I am a June birthday and do not love the sun or the heat. And my mum is a November birthday and loves the summer, whereas I love the autumn. You couldn't write it, could you? But I was really lucky enough to have some really nice gifts. So I took some spending money yesterday, to we're very lucky. We live by Cowslip Workshops, just the other side of Launceston, and they are a fabric and quilting extraordinaire. And it's owned by Jo Colwill, who has published loads and loads of quilting books and patchwork books. It's a brilliant place, beautiful cafe. And obviously we're only just about half an hour away. So I took a little jaunt over there yesterday with some of my birthday money, and I purchased some Stacey Nash cross stitch patterns. So I've bought this pin keep drum and one of the animal crackers, who I love. So this one is Nettle with her little Halloween mask on. And the one I really wanted, Maggie May, they didn't have in stock, but I know that there's a couple of places online I can order it, and also they're due to get it back in. And then I was able, or not able, what am I saying? I was wonderfully gifted some extra gifts. So this absolute beauty, it's called Barbie's Back, and it's by a dyer I've never heard of before, Yarn by Boo. And this was a gift from my lovely friend Cheryl at my Knit and Natter group. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but it's really soft. It is I think it's a normal sock base. Oh no, 60% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 20% alpaca, 400 meters. So that's why it's so soft, beautiful. And then my other friend Sue obviously knows I'm in my floof era, and gave me this wonderful gift of some hand-dyed yarn by Catherine Morgan Designs, and these are 2 floofs, and they're called Strawberry Daiquiri. Yeah, Strawberry Daiquiri, as in the cocktail, and they are like a pinky red, but they are beautiful, so soft. And they're a 77% alpaca, 23% silk, 25 grams, and 140 meters on both. It's just, I don't have an issue with alpaca at all. And I know some people really do have an issue with alpaca, but it doesn't seem to irritate me. I get irritated when I have allergies to many airborne things, but it would turn out not alpaca fleece, which is lucky. And then on Saturday, a parcel arrived for me, and I guessed it was, I knew it was from my fabulous and wonderful friend Davina. Hello, lovely, from Little Room Crafts, and she had sent me a little birthday gift as well, and it's just divine. I love them. So these are my yarn cozies, and you will know I absolutely love a yarn cozy. They are just amazing because I'm a centre puller, if I can be. Since I've managed to work out how to work my Swift Pro. Don't even talk to me about Swifts. My Swift is broken, and now Matt has fixed it. I will show you in a minute. But now I've managed to work my Swift, and I'm a centre puller, not an outside puller. I couldn't be without yarn cozies, and these are just brilliant. Look, they have crabs in pirate hats. And a blue. It's just a gorgeous blue. And then she sent me, she knows me so well, she sent me this. And you'll go, what's that? It's got mushrooms, it's beautiful, but it's a flat piece of fabric. It's not a flat piece of fabric. you clip these wonderful little clips together. Look, hang on. If you watch Davina, which if you don't, where have you been? But if you do, you'll know what this is. But clip it together. Oh, look! How clever is this? So it's a little thread basket, and you can keep it by your side. I put it on my trolley, or on the table in here if I'm working in here, and it puts all your threads in, and then you can just empty them into the bin and then pop it flat back into your project bag, and it's wonderful. So that is going into my project bag for my cross stitch, which I've hardly worked on. I'll show you, but I've hardly worked on it. But my plan is to work on it. There, I've only done this much because I got waylaid with knitting. But this is and this is on my beautiful bag. So, oh, this frame is a tea can. No, it's not. It's a treasure cave frame, but you can also pick them up on, not this particular one, but frames like it are available on Amazon. And I'm a two-handed stitcher, so I go from top and bottom. But also, this is my lovely bag that I had from Davina when we went to visit her. Oh, if you're not aware, this is my cross stitch that I'm making. And this was a free pattern as well. I think it was on DMC's website. But I'm just going to pop this in there because that's will live ready for my cross stitch later. Let's put that on there. So yes, I had some very lovely incomings, and very lucky, very lucky. So yes, I'm having a lovely time and doing my crafting, but not with the heat, as we know. Stop talking about the heat. Oh, and then my very jumpy around, apologies. And then on Thursdays for the next 10 weeks, I have embarked on a machine quilting workshop set of courses with the Patchwork Dreamer. Mary is a friend, but also she owns the shop, the Patchwork Dreamer, in Bodmin, and they both do in person. It's a bricks and mortar shop, but she also does amazing mail order, and she'll send you out anything that she's got. So give her a quick look up as well. She's very active on social media too. Yeah, so I'm doing that, and whilst I'm quite a competent sewer, I can make bags, I can do clothes, I can make clothes, I can do these. I'm quite confident now. I've never done traditional patchwork. So I've never made, for instance, a Dresden plate. I've done 9 blocks. Obviously you saw, I think last time, my seats for the garden furniture. But I went last week for my first session and we did 9 blocks, and I realised how slapdash I was being rather than how precise you need to be on the corners. So we're making 1 block each week for 9 weeks, and then we'll do the edge and the quilting on the last week. And my plan is to make the block in the morning in the shop, and then come home and make a block in the afternoon using the same technique, so that I'm consolidating what I'm learning. But that is dependent upon, obviously, around my health. For you, those of you who are new here, I do have several chronic pain conditions and several chronic illnesses, of which affect my energy levels, and therefore it might not be on the same day. But the plan is to try and consolidate in that following week the block that I've learned on the Thursday. So this was this Thursday's block. So it's very much kind of what I have in stash. I'm just making that one. And then the one that I made following the course was this one. And I'm going to decide to do the second blocks are all going to be Christmas fabrics. So that's this one. So the plan is to keep them all, and then you make them obviously into your quilt at the very end. So I'm really pleased, and I'm hoping that I can master the far more technical ones. Dresden plate is in there. There's some applique, there's some flying geese somewhere along the line, various different ones. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and having a whale of a time with my friend Caitlin, who joins me when we go. So it's just the two of us on a workshop with Mary, and it's really lovely. So yeah, don't think I've got any yarn shows coming up until the Southern Wool show, because being far more intentional with my yarn visiting of yarn shows and my yarn purchases. Done the Wool Monty, so yeah, I think the next one is the Southern Wool show. So yes, yeah, I think that's probably it for today. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope this was, if you're in the UK, a little bit of respite from the heat, and anywhere else, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I would just like to say to everybody to stay safe wherever you are. Enjoy what you're doing, and as I said earlier, if you did like it, if you give a like and a subscribe, that would be perfect. Until next time, see you later. Bye.